Hello, everybody, and this is yet another Sunday when we are here with a new guest on the show. We have in the house today Dr. Mythili, and she's from Oman. So I would like her to speak a few lines and then describe the journey that she has been having so far as a part of her career and the life journey. She'll be the next person on the screen, and she'll talk about herself.
Hi, Aarti. How are you? It's a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. It's always nice to meet new people across the world and share stories and listen to stories also. So let me share a few snippets of my story in as few words as I can. As you already know, that I'm a professor and I'm an assistant professor at the College of Banking and Financial Studies, and I work in Oman basically. And everybody also talks about, how I wear so many hats. So yeah, I do a lot of stuff in the sense probably I love to do what I do. So I'm a researcher also. I really enjoy my space in terms of strategy. I did my PhD in strategy and leadership. So that is my main core area. That's what I teach. That's what I research about also. And when we talk about research, I think tomorrow my article or might already be published in Oman Observer newspaper, where I was just talking about the skill sets that are required for the future, like 2030, or how it is changing. So I write for the newspaper also, and that I feel is very challenging because I need to think of a topic and I need to write, I need to engage the audience, and I need to do it every week. So what I do basically is I enjoy my teaching. Plus, I'm a researcher, and I also, of course, like each one of us have a family and like it's already 9:30. I just came from work, cooked dinner, and cooking is something that I really enjoy. So it's something that I don't like to outsource, but I hear a lot of people outsourcing the cooking as a chore. But to me, it's something that I picked up from my mom. Cooking is like a connector. It's like I'm sure you heard of Dale Carnegie, the book "How to Win Friends and Influence People." I would put cooking at the top because it's such a beautiful connector, and it is something I take very dear to my heart. So no matter how late I am, I would definitely cook, have a home cooked meal.
All right, that's very interesting to
Is
know.
it clear?
Of course, of course. And then because I got across your profile through LinkedIn, and I've been seeing that you have been posting a lot of things, and you're very, very regular on LinkedIn. So yeah, so that was a little motivation for me because people don't use that platform this frequently and that nicely actually. So that's where I saw your profile, and I was like, okay, that's a must to have you on the podcast. So at least we could talk about your life, and we could talk about you, and of course on this occasion today of Mother's Day. So maybe later on in the session, we'll talk about a little of that section of your life, which is very important. Getting to
Yeah,
the first question, Doc. So I'll call you Doc. Is that okay? So
absolutely.
yeah. So with your career, your career has many sides that I have seen from your bio. So what about your personal experiences and the moments that has shaped your life, the outlook of your life, and then your profession, the passion and the profession for education and strategy? So what is your insight about that?
My journey has been quite spontaneous and emergent. It is not that I've started out with this goal, because we come across a lot of people. Uh, Actually, I don't know if it is something to be happy about or is something to be worried about. You ask a third standard student and they tell you what they want to be. I feel, wait a minute, don't grow up before your time. You have a lot to explore. So maybe I am not being like that. So my journey has been always emergent. Emergent in the sense I feel strategy is me, or I teach strategy, so it's become so much of me. It's that in strategy we talk about two approaches where you have a goal and you go towards it, and then you're not really adapting. So I'm the person who will adapt to the situation, you know, and I will change accordingly because probably that's this the school of thought or the place that I come from is that I'm more used to adapting to given situations, or life has put me in different situations where I was in a situation where I have to make the best of what I have. So probably that has put me in a space in terms of adapting to situation. And I don't look at anyone or anything as low. That is probably one thing which has helped me to grow immensely. So, like you just now said, oh, LinkedIn, it's waste. Or let's say you have an opportunity, and many people are waiting for the opportunity.
Right, right,
It's
right.
like the big break. Okay, I will work hard and I will get that. And when that comes, I will do it. So, that could be one approach that's worked for somebody. But I said, I feel that the opportunity that has come to you is rare. And another point I would like to share at this juncture is that when you look at opportunity and talent, we both are in the education sector. We have seen so much of talent in students, in sectors, and in across the world also. But what has given the opportunity, the chance to shine, is not only the talent, but unfortunately, a greater role plays in the opportunity.
Right,
We
very
see
true.
today so many talented people who are not where they should be, and unfortunately, a lot of untalented people. And you say, "Wow, how did they even get there?" There's a book also on that. I think. How come people who can make decisions are not in leadership roles? And that will probably be another podcast because we know so many aspects and nuances of working. So I always respect that opportunity. And if I have the time, I would honor it with the same commitment and passion. And as I would honor that the opportunity that we feel we want that client or that break, or you want to publish in that journal. Yes, I do want to publish in the journal, but I will have to keep working from the areas and the opportunities I get. So I am here today because of the way I look at opportunity and I respect opportunity. I love that saying of Denzel Washington in one of the interviews where he says that if anybody said, I'm very successful, this, that, he said, oh, great, you had a wonderful opportunity presented to you. So we generally focus a lot on the talent and we don't focus so much on the power of opportunity. And why I feel it is important is because organizations, leaders are in a position to give that opportunity to everyone you know, to present an equal opportunity. So if you see that personality and posting that I do on LinkedIn, which you said, so many people are jealous. I see people who I can see that, and I see many
Yeah.
people who personally come and tell me, you should not do so much research. It's not good for you. So I say, okay, fine. I'm not doing anything. I don't get into the spaces of friction. So I'm just posting, sharing information, and I do it, consistently. And I'm not worried about what you think. If you're interested, you read. If you don't like it, you always have skip or delete me from your network, if that's an issue for you. So that's where I started, connecting with people also. And that's the way I keep myself motivated by doing things, by planning, by looking at every single opportunity as a chance to grow. So basically, I think that we can sum it up as my growth mindset from a very young age, knowingly or unknowingly, has been a very crucial aspect of my growth.
Okay, that's very interesting for what you have been talking about because I had a colleague in the past and we were talking about opportunities and not everybody is getting the chance to be here where we are as of now. But then he was also talking about the aspect of destiny and fate because he was reflecting this with destiny that okay, this is you who got a chance, who got an opportunity, and even if somebody is better than you, is not even getting a chance to still prove the worth. So by that, he did not mean that we don't have a value. We still have a worth, but somebody else in the zone also has something better than us to address, and still they did not even get the chance to present themselves at the first front. So that was somewhere I was like, okay, because generally nowadays, as we are talking about, we will look at social media and then we also read some books. People are talking about creating their destinies and not believing on what is happening as of now, automatically, right, for them. So, what is your take on that?
Yes.
What do you say? Do you actually believe in destiny? Do you actually feel that this is also a strong stand which supports you?
Uh, just last week, or maybe it was 10 days, I was in another podcast. I was invited by a publisher of my previous book. He's in Canada and he's invited me. And we were talking about the same thing. And he's a publisher, so he had an author who had written the book Kismat Dilemma, you know.
Yeah.
So it is something that we term it as in Asia, it's written on your head, or it is written what is destined to happen. So it's all about perception. See, when you look at destiny, so frankly, we cannot read the book of future. you know it's a very tough space to try to get into it. I don't want to also start by saying is it right or is it wrong. It's a school of thought. So it's like the nature versus the nurture. So if there is destiny, it will play its part. And the very fact that I am born to a set of parents, and you are born to a set of parents, itself shows that there is an element of your life which is beyond your control.
Right.
Now, when you look at destiny, also, there are many levels of destiny. I don't know the exact terminology in English, also. Mostly in my own mother tongue is what I'm more comfortable when I talk of like karma and what we do and how it influences us. So, when you go to certain levels, we are not at that level where we can actually comprehend or even influence our destiny. But what I feel is we are at a level where we know what is happening. You are conscious, right? You are at the moment
Yeah.
conscious. You missed an opportunity. Okay, for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, the opportunity did not come your way. But I still you can still wait on. You can still try. You can keep waiting. For example, this opportunity to write for Oman Observer took me a very, very long time. I have been searching LinkedIn to connect with newspaper editors. I have sent every editor a request saying, I'm a researcher, I would like to write. Because I have a voice and the thoughts just come to me and I have to put it down. That's the kind of persona that I have. And I want to share it with others. I want people to know how the environment is or what the skills of future are. I don't want it to be only in my classroom. I want the world classroom to know that boys and girls, please get ready for the future. So I've been searching, and it's not today, and it didn't happen overnight. So you will not believe there are so many people who haven't responded still. So you just keep trying, try till you fail. All these things are not just cliches, they are true. So will you make destiny work for you? And then what happens? You have the people who say, it's destined, that's why you got it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. It
They
sometimes
suddenly
pinches you
forget,
also.
what about all my failures?
Right, right.
Yeah, and then they say, you're destined. Yeah, I'll say, okay, please check my LinkedIn messages, check how many articles of mine have been rejected, and how many people brush you aside and say, oh, you don't have a degree from West. And many people say that, okay, you don't have a degree from North America. I said, yeah, I don't have. So what? Is North America the only space in the world? Some of the most intellectual people, and half of America is full of Indians.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the top companies right now are headed by CEOs. So it's our basic education that has got people where they were. And if you will see, most of the generations that are there today, the CEOs are not born Americans. So the CEOs or the top people in this generation right now are people who have gone to US for MS, the Indians.
Right.
Maybe another 10 years, you have the generation who is actually an Indian origin American coming up. So so people have a right to their own perspective. I say, okay, fine, you don't value my degree. I'm okay with it. Please find yourself somebody in that space, and I would still continue. So many a time we give up, we say, oh, okay, fine, because it was really frustrating just getting this opportunity to write. every week was very tough. And then the editor said, no, you are writing very well. We will give you one day in a week. It's going to be fixed and you will be doing it. And recently we had a conference in our university here in Oman, and we had somebody come from outside. That's another place that's called Salalah, another city in Oman. And then she kept saying, I've seen you somewhere, I've seen you somewhere. I said, I'm so sorry, I don't remember. And then the third day of the conference, she comes and say, you're writing in Oman Observer, I'm reading all your articles, they are just amazing. So it was so nice, And so are you destined to, do that? I don't know. If you look at one thing, everything is destiny.
Yeah, of course. Maybe it
Yeah.
just
But I
gives you a
don't,
direction to apply and to work in that particular way because
yeah, but I don't like when it is used, as a cover. You don't
yeah,
use it as an excuse. You don't use
that's the
destiny
same
as
thing
an
which
excuse.
applies to me. And I was like, I actually give the same kind of reaction when people talk about only destiny and not putting efforts. So what if I'm not putting efforts now? Is it possible to have a podcast without without just putting in effort and coming on the channel now? So yeah, that's
No,
very
it's
true.
it's like you put a candle and you put a fan, it's going to blow out, right?
Yes.
So you have to put the efforts to try to see that the light is burning. And always the main thing, what I believe is I never focus on the results. I only focus on the process. In the
That's
sense,
right.
I made myself so think, because like you say, I don't know, right? Something I don't know, I cannot control. But what I can control is my effort. What I can control is in my hands.
Yeah.
So in that way, this is how I feel when you talk about kismat and destiny. Yes, of course, there is an there we should not be foolish and say there is no destiny. I do everything, because there are so many things that are not in our hands. We just do our best, and handle the obstacles in our path without crying about it, and make the best of what you have.
Because everybody's perspective is different. They would present their thoughts in the way they have had their experiences. Maybe because they
Exactly.
might have seen somebody else reaching to great heights without their efforts, so he's trying to conclude the same way. So yeah, of course. Okay, so very interesting. So it's how many years now in Oman that you have been working there?
It's 13 to I think 14 years.
Wow, that's a huge time. So okay, so the next question that I want to ask you, out of my curiosity, is that being a global citizen and living different cultures across the globe, then how do you actually use this international exposure that influences somehow it influences your values and then the mindset and the approach for the leadership?
Yeah, it's a big influence. It's not a small influence, because the best part is when sometimes I just sit down and think about it. I've been a student. I have even experienced the various stages of life, which very few people have in various continents. In the sense that I've been a student in Middle East, because I was literally grew up, you can say born, moved when I was 2 years, so to Dubai. I've been a student there. I've lived in Dubai as a student. My main formative years, everything were in Dubai. And then I've been a daughter there. I've been a wife now. I'm a mother now, and I was a student in this part of the world, experiencing the different nuances. And I did the same thing when I was in India, because I did my PhD, I did my master's in India. And then I got married and I lived in India in like a typical joint family. So we lived there. So those nuances are very different. And then we lived in US also. Though I didn't study, I worked in US when I was there. So that experience is different. And it's just amazing. I am who I am because of my experiences. And how, like I said from the beginning, I've been open to it. And I really, I'm very grateful. Maybe many people would not like what I say, but I'm really grateful that I've been brought up in Middle East, not in India nor in US, because I see a lot of differences in, like you just now said, values, in terms of mindset. That is quite different in American born Indians and Indian per se also. For example, till I was 20, I didn't know what my sect was. So when we grew up in Dubai, we just grew up as Indians, and we would interact with various country people, various Indians from various nationalities, various states. And it never occurred to us that, okay, I am Mythili and this, I'm a Brahmin, and beyond that I am something was never a topic at our table. I'm very grateful to my parents for that they brought us up, and probably the environment. Like I said, Dubai, it's a very cosmopolitan place. You meet so many people who are so different. So I guess that gave me that open mindedness, which I don't find a lot in India. I see there is a conformity bias. I see a conformity bias very strong in India when I lived in India also. It is like you have these perceptions of people. Uh, it's like not God seeking, but God fearing. There is a huge difference between that. I am not God fearing, I am God seeking. I want to explore, I want to know more. So I will travel the Himalayas if required. But if you tell me that on Friday you have to do this, if you don't do this, something is going to happen. No, God is not going to do anything to us. The dimension of a religion is a very big thing. For me, it's about spirituality. So these very strong perceptions that we develop in terms of money, in terms of relationships, in terms of religion, and how we look at various people, how we interact with them. This amazing exposure is only because I was in Dubai. And the environment that we had and the upbringing that we have was very open. So we were allowed to experiment, we were allowed to make mistakes, we were not questioned. And when I moved to India, it was totally different. So I saw another perspective, which was very, very shocking for me as to how people treat you, how people, maybe then I started, oh, and they would look very strangely at me when initially I say, I don't know who, what is, you don't know that you are this. And it was like initially because I went when I was doing my intermediate and in my degree, that stage you're so tender, you have always formed an impression, right? So those changes also made me realize that okay, this is the way. It's not about right and wrong, it's but about the perspectives probably they have. So many things. And now I realize more that it's a very strong conformity bias that I see in so many people in America also, who have taken this with them. It is literally today, so many people still in India think of only engineering and medicine as a profession. Because I have developed a career, I have a strategic career decision making grid that I've developed, where I talk about it when we have these annual meets for the schools, the Indian schools in Oman, I'm invited. So this is a grid where I say career is not made by somebody, for someone. You have to strategically think about it. You have to sit down, explore options. Science and math is not the only one. Still, we have less in STEM, I agree. But there are other options. And I said they are options of respect. Becoming an artist, becoming a coach, you want to start your own spa, you're interested in beauty and products. Uh, it is not a taboo, but it's still treated as that. There are so many blind spots that we have in society. And these are all coming from exposure. So I have seen so much, and when I have seen it, I've accepted it. And I've just looked at it as different perspectives. And that's helped me to be a more rounded personality. And I don't judge people by their thoughts, like you have a certain thought, you believe in a certain thing, that's your preference. So when judgment is not there, I feel relationships are much more clean, and you have all the negatives removed. And it's even in my office, I am known as a no politics person. I just don't play the game. It doesn't touch me at all. It's like I don't control anybody, but I make sure nobody is going to control me. They know that. So you cannot play around and do stuff, because I'm very clear. I will tell you on the face, and everything is like it's clear. Like you know what I'm doing. It's on LinkedIn, right? So
Yeah.
whatever I do,
Yeah. Okay. So it's
at
very
least
interesting.
professional.
Well, there's a time limitation. Otherwise, I have a lot of questions on the one I thought I will ask you actually. It's a very so I was people from the same background, and we could relate what is happening around, because as you told, there's you're actually a no politics person. How are you actually fitting in the space? Because now people won't even let you fit in the space in case you're not even doing politics, and that's how it is.
Yeah,
So it's very
it is
difficult
becoming
to
like
grow.
that. You are absolutely right. It's very
Very
difficult.
difficult to grow. They won't let you, and they won't realize that they are wrong. They'll actually make you feel that you are wrong in that space. You don't fit in. So
Yeah,
because
so you really got to be
the
so
way they are.
strong, You got to be
Yeah.
so strong that people are, they say, okay, we can't, we can't do anything with her. Let her be.
Let it be the way it is. And similarly with your LinkedIn thing, maybe when I believe when somebody opposes you, I guess that's the time you realize that you're actually growing. Because in case nobody has an issue with you, that means you're not doing anything around. So people who are
Yes,
doing
yes.
something in their life, they actually have non-followers more than the followers, and they have a lot of people who dislike them. And that's the indication that you're doing well.
Absolutely, so much. It's
Yeah.
at all kinds of levels, at personal level, at family level, at professional level. You see,
All
people are not able to appreciate, If you are not able to appreciate or value somebody's success, that only speaks of your character. I mean, if somebody tells you that they have published a book, the first thing you got to do is you got to give them a shake hand. I mean, even if you're an author, you're
Yeah, it's a
not an
big thing. Yeah.
author.
Yeah,
Great
it
achievement. So
takes a lot of time. It takes a
I
lot of time to publish and write and think.
yeah, I've been in rooms where I've just received silence, and it was so tough. It was so tough to digest that for me. It was not so tough to digest that they didn't wish me, but it was so tough to digest that, okay, what state are people going to? And if you will see, the way I work is that I'm quite transparent, in the sense I don't have anything to hide. So it is like my book journey. It's very organic, and it is just hard work. Means my mother used to say that hard work has to take a bow to you. Okay, she would say this, that hard work should.
So moving to the third question that I have is that what are some habits that you actually had, you inculcated, or you already had it? So your daily practices and the guiding principles that actually keep you grounded, and because of which you are actually able to focus on the right roles and the responsibilities as a part of your life, your lifestyle, and then of course at your work.
Yeah, there are a few things that I follow very religiously. It's been a couple of years, maybe it's been around, you can say 15, 14 years from the time that we moved here. So earlier we were stationed in Ibra, and that was a very, very small town. Compared to what Muscat is a very modern space, and it's just amazing to live in. But Ibra was very, very small, and it was a very tough period of our lives. So discipline to the core. To the core means, every day I used to get up at 3:45 so that I can start my chores by 4. So I'm that kind of a person. So if I know I have to be there, I know that to start your day cycle, or to start your day activities by 4, I need 15 minutes just to, get myself out. So those 5 years was just ruthless discipline. I mean, discipline not only from me, but from my husband and my son, who are just amazing. My husband did 360 kilometers driving for us, because he used to work where I am right now in Muscat, and we lived there. So he was off to work from at around 7 a.m.
Every
and
day.
he'll be back. Yeah, every day. He did it for the family. And so everything I was doing, everything literally. So he's off. So I have to make food, carriage. So because we are vegetarians, we're not very comfortable eating out. So food is always cooked, mostly 99% at home. So it is that. So your day starts so early, and cleaning, sweeping, swapping, cooking, everything. And you said you would like to ask, since today is Mother's Day, we can talk about me being a mother. My son today is a professional tennis player, and he travels across the world. And he so his tennis is a very, very core space, and it's a mission. Whenever my son wins a tournament, he recently played in Barcelona just 2 weeks back, and he's with us, and he's leaving for China in a couple of days. So when he wins a tournament, he won the match, he will write, we won. He doesn't say, I want. So we've always been telling, when you hit the ball, it's three of us are hitting the ball. So I believe one very important aspect is self-discipline. Nobody has to tell me that I have to do it. I know it is the call of the hour. The call of the hour is you are in a situation which demands you get up at 3:45. So you have to get up. So no matter how tough it is, and I did that every day. I mean, literally every day. In my farewell speech, which was in Ibra, because I used to finish work at 6. We didn't have a tennis court in Ibra. So I used to go home, finish my chores, get my son again at 7 or 6:45, and we used to play on the engineering. I still remember the mechanical engineering wall where I used to take him so that we can practice tennis in my own college. So people were like, what the hell, you just went home with us. And everybody didn't have a car, so I would do carpooling. And they would always say, Mythili's flight is never late. So in the sense, if you want to get into my car with me, you have to match my timing. And not, I tell everybody, boss, I am ready to help you, but I'll not wait 2 minutes because I have a son waiting at home. For me, I have to rush. Yeah. So it was like that. So self-discipline is the main thing,
Very important.
which you have to keep. And I always believe in nano habits, which I have also picked up with a lot of reading. And I read a lot of Harvard business articles, lot of books. And first, I think this cannot be possible. Nano habits are like you do something for 5 minutes, 10 minutes is also is luxurious, it seems. That's what a nano habit is. So I picked up that nano habits in the sense that I do meditation every day. So my practices are, I do a lot of prayers. I do a lot of meditation. I don't compromise on that. Exercise. We walk every day. There were
Wow.
days when here the shift is totally different, in the sense that I sleep at 2. It's like I don't wake up at 3:45. It's like yeah, the Ibra working schedule and the Muscat working schedule are totally different. Here it's more demanding. So, but off late, I've taken to my health also. And now I set an alarm to sleep, not to wake up. So it's like, hello, like I said, keep adapting. So I believe meditation has helped me immensely, in the sense that it's very difficult to make me angry. It's very difficult for a situation. I've seen very bad times in life, very bad times, personally and professionally. It's like a bad time is I lost my mother during COVID, not to COVID, but during COVID, and we couldn't go. It
Oh,
was
you could
so,
not see
yeah,
it.
we couldn't go, right? All flights, everything was, and it was, and the previous night she passed away. I spoke to her, I read prayers to her because she was not well a little. So I told her, Mama, just put the phone on, and I was just reading. It's like that. So being with her. And then we couldn't even go for the 1 year rituals that we have, the things that we do. There are certain rituals that we perform. We couldn't do that. So it is like you have seen so much. So you understood that life is going to throw unexpected things to you, and you will be in a state of discomfort. And I've realized that discomfort is growth. You have to be
Yeah, of
willing.
course.
You cannot say, I don't know, I will. And I see so many people literally dying every day of fear of decision making, fear of just doing small things, literally small things, which are very trivial. And which will never happen. 80% of our fears never manifest themselves. 80%. We fear so many things. So I've realized that of all the challenges that I've seen, and the situations, that calmness is the only thing you can offer to the situation and help, because I've seen that diffuses the tension. That helps a lot, because when I talk about my son is a tennis player. He's a professional tennis player, and we have tough discussions every day. So there are many situations where he's been playing since a very young age. So I'm a tough mom. I'm characterized as a tough mom. So I feel that, yeah, you need to be a tough mom. There's a lot of difference. People get confused between parenting and loving. We all love our children,
Right.
but
Yes.
I don't see parenting shining through everybody.
Right. Right. Right.
So another space I believe is being tough, being there for the family, and that's what I've inculcated in my family also. The nano habits, reading, for example, I read every day. Recently, in an airport, I just purchased, I think, 10, 15 books. It was so exciting to see because it's very expensive here, and
Okay.
I love jewelry, so I buy these unique pieces of jewelry. I travel a lot to Spain because my son lives in Spain, and I'm definitely going to buy some jewelry for everybody. I buy for my colleagues, for their daughters, for myself also, and I love books. So when I saw these books and jewelry this time, I said, okay, I'll go for the books, not for the jewelry, because
Okay.
the piece of jewelry was very expensive. And I said,
Yeah.
honestly, that was the reason. And then I picked up all these books. So I read very little every day. So maybe 10 minutes or sometimes just 2 to 3 pages. Also, that is one more habit that I've picked up. I read, I do meditation a lot, uh, and I don't watch TV. Means no,
Not at all.
zero,
Ah.
not at all.
Wow.
Now, because of the news that is happening, I will watch BBC. So, like every 1 2 days, I watch a lot of news. I watch BBC. I listen to the things because I also write, right? So I have written, I think, more than 5 6 articles on the trade war, and I've written so many people call me up and say it's just amazing. The last article I wrote on what is trade war, because I heard some people say some things about trade war which is not what it is. They're not even understanding who's going to pay, or they think it's not going to touch me. These taxes are not going to affect common man, but they are.
Yeah. There.
So yeah, so that's why that is a very conscious decision I have to make, because in the academic space that I am in, it's very demanding. Right? You are in academics, how much marking we do, teaching and all. And I'm very passionate about cooking. Very passionate. I take it very personally. My mom was an amazing cook, and I always tell my family she used to serve off the pan. I take that as a moment of pride. So every weekend it is like food is served off the pan. It's sizzling hot. So I enjoy all that. So I said, okay, then I have to give up something, right? I mean, I can't sit and
Yeah.
watch a
You can't
movie
have
or a
everything.
serial and do everything. And it's not I've sacrificed it. I derive greater pleasure from doing this. So and as a family, we go out for movies. I I would give my vote for an experience. That's what I say. In the sense, instead of sitting at home, let's all get together, let's all dress up, let's go out, let's do something. So just yesterday we went and played darts. We had so much fun. My son won most of the matches, but still. So it's always the experience. And we play a lot of board games as a family. In the sense, it's Scrabble mostly that we play a lot, and cards, cricket. I don't play cricket; they play cricket. So, but I believe in doing things together. So rather than sitting and watching a movie on Netflix, which also, of course, we all of us do, and even I do that sometimes every now and then. But as a habit, I don't watch TV. I don't want any serials. Everything is it's like it's a very tough decision, and it's come out of a lot of practice. But I have realized that I've got so much time for myself now,
Yes. Of course.
so much. And one more point is I have this amazing inner circle or friends. I told you right last week I did a podcast. So after I did it, I shared it with a few close people. One of them is one of my very close friends. After seeing that, she immediately heard it and she said, "Mythili, it is amazing, but you forgot one thing." I said, "What?" She said, "Next time you should say it." So before I forget, I'm an artist.
I'm
So
pretty much aware of that. I'm actually aware of it. To your
yeah,
surprise.
so she said,
Yeah.
you forgot to mention that. So it's like you have such lovely friends around you. And when my book was released also, and I called my sister, I think it was 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. It was very odd time, but I was very excited that the book has been released on Amazon and all. So she said, okay, I'll buy 2 books. So it's like I said, it's okay. And I told her the money is going for charity. This book, I've given the proceeds for charity. So she said, no, it's okay. It's your book, right? I'll buy two. So if you have a few people,
Supportive
like my
friends, very
husband,
supportive
yeah,
friends.
my very supportive friends, and at least a few family members. I mean, like we said, we make a lot of enemies. Yeah,
Yeah,
remember
right.
when we do a lot of stuff, but at least a few people. My husband is my main critic and my fan, in the sense that if I'm going to start anything new, first he'll say, why are you doing this? What is this? And he's the best devil's advocate, so he'll pull up everything about it, and then he's all out supporting you. And same my son. So he arranged everything. He said, okay, we will not disturb you. We set the table for your podcast. And they made sure I had dinner, so that even though it's very late, we can manage. So it's that I have this beautiful support system, and every relationship is two-way. That's what I believe.
Yes,
No
yes.
matter how close it is, whether it's a husband wife, whether it is a father-in-law, or any relation that you have, one person cannot carry the shoulder the burden of the relationship or the pleasure of the relationship. Both have to be participative in any relationship. So
Right.
it's like in our family also, it has to be a give and take. We celebrate every small thing. One thing my colleagues like a lot about me is that we celebrate every salary.
Wow.
every
Yes.
salary uh,
Okay, very
every
interesting.
salary every salary, whenever my salary is credited, I send a message to my son that you have to eat a cake today. uh, he's with us, so if he's with us, we go out and eat. Suppose he's in China or he's in Hungary or somewhere, I said, okay, if not a sweet, eat something you like. So, and my husband, whenever he gets his salary or whenever he gets a bonus, I say we have to, whether it's a small piece of a chocolate or whatever it is just a sense of gratitude. And the minute we get a salary, I go to my puja room and I say thank you. It's a gratitude, and when you do that, it's that you're not taking anything for granted. That's what it's not a big deal. uh, So initially you say, Mama, what is it? You're getting your salary. I said, no, son, there are many people who are not getting their
Not getting a
salaries
salary.
every month.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we are getting salary. We are fortunate. We are enjoying the money. We are having a good life. So it is just that we are creating an atmosphere of gratitude for every single thing that we have. And you are alert. You're not going to take anything for granted. So this kind of atmosphere we create in the house, where there are nano habits. We all meditate. It's not only me. My 20-year-old son meditates more than us. So it's like he says, I see it in the house. So
And
the
that's how you
vibes.
inculcate in the kids.
Yeah, that's how you inculcate. I like I told you in the beginning, I don't like to control. When we were small and we used to go for tennis, the practices, and obviously many parents would tell that they are locking all the gadgets in the house in one room, so
That's
that
not
the
the right
kids
thing.
don't. Uh, no, my son would have his TV time, of course, which I restricted, but everything was like, for example, you will be surprised. His mobile phone password is my password. He's 20 years, and he says, in case you want something, I don't want you to search, or you will find some trouble. So his phone is for me and my phone is for him. There is nothing there is no need to have a lock.
Yeah,
So
right.
that is
Right.
the way, like, you want to see something, you want to see a movie, you want to do anything, okay, it's fine, just tell us. So in that space, when there is highest trust and transparency, it helps to create a lot of positive vibes, and that's why there is so much support. If something I am late, I don't tell him. He'll say, you didn't tell me this happened in your office. So it's like that kind of a thing that we have going at home. So this is the atmosphere, lots of meditation, and huge self discipline from my side. I think that's what keeps me going.
Wow, that's actually very interesting and a shock to me because it's very difficult to manage and balance life the way you're actually doing it. So everything seems so perfectly fine around you. And I'm sure as I'm trying to get to know about you more, as a part of your life is basically you actually are a life level learner from things around you, and then you're trying to just use that in the right way. And of course, your patience, then you have been so sure about what you're supposed to do, prioritize of your roles and the habits and other stuff. It's very important and interesting. But yeah, I am actually out of words. I thought maybe it's actually a very nice, clear picture of everything being perfect on the screen. So I was like, it's very difficult to imply that in the real life because, depending upon the timeline that you're talking about in your profession and then again a part of your
Yes.
life and then not watching TV, all of that. It's very difficult being a female and then handling the chores also. Okay. So, but something which is now I'm really curious to know about is so what is that particular role? Any kind of failure or struggle that actually played a very important part in shaping your growth and then about your personality, your profession that you could share with us, and that actually taught you something very profound. Because everything is so nice and such a nice picture on the screen. So let me just ask
No,
something which
it's
is
not.
yes,
It's not a nice picture. Yeah. No, no, no. It's not like that. It's like any learning comes with a very hard price.
right,
Um, Learnings are not at all easy. So I have learned many things by making many wrong decisions, or decisions where I should have listened to me, but probably I listened to somebody because I felt maybe they are better off than me. Which another thing, like I told you in the beginning, being an NRI, living in Dubai and then moving back to India was may not have been the best decision that I made for my education and my growth, because it was very challenging. And we would there is a different perception that people have about NRIs. They think the money comes easy to them,
very
and
true, very true. Which is
they
not easy at all.
which is not easy at all. And they think they throw money, which we don't, but we spend money because we have it.
Rather, they
You
should.
know?
They feel that you should because you're coming from a different background. You're an NRI, so you should spend
Yeah,
like that. It's like it's
yeah,
actually
and
hard-earned money.
yeah. So there are a lot of what do we say, social things that I came about, that I learned in terms of relationships, how people are. So when we talk about workspaces and we talk about how people are, a lot of the things that I've learned is, like I told you, the mindset. I've seen a lot of variations in people. I've seen a lot of people change because of who you are or how much money you have. And that has really opened my eyes, how people are so fixed for a conformity bias in terms of how they accept certain things if it is suitable to them, or they don't accept certain things because it is not suitable for them. So that is one thing that is goes on. And if you talk about the lessons, our life has been quite tough, in the sense that I lost my father 6 months before my marriage. That was the toughest thing for me. The reason being is that we live in an Indian society where the mother's role, or a role of a wife, is totally changes once the husband is not there. We still come from that society, how the society perceives,
Right.
or how the society looks. So that was a very big shock for us, in the sense that we knew his health was not good, but it put a lot of things in space, in the sense that, life doesn't stop for anything. I mean, literally, it doesn't stop for anything. And sometimes when you cry, you're really alone, you know it was a space for me. I don't know how to be happy, but I should be happy because I'm getting married. It's a very big thing in my life. And yet I feel this void. It was like a movie. You would not believe it, Aarti. My sister was pregnant. And just days before my marriage, the doctor told her she should not get up, otherwise she will lose the child. It was like a movie. I said, whoa, what the
It's
hell is
happening, yeah.
happening? Yeah, what is happening? So I had to do everything on my own. And it was so challenging. And losing my father just before that, the relatives didn't like it. It was such a chaos it was a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
And I saw all
For 1 year,
colors.
we don't celebrate for 1 year.
We
That's
don't
that's the
celebrate.
tradition.
Yeah, we don't celebrate. I saw all colors of people. I saw all colors in people. I just understood black and white. I realized what they're saying is not what they're meaning. What they're meaning is not what they're saying. Oh my God, it was like, and everything was very, very clear to me in life at that point, as to how things work and how people behave when situations change and suddenly you're alone. And I am the backbone of our family. My that's my maiden name. That's who the family I come from. Now I am married and my own family is there, but my brother, my sister. So it was. I've always been the backbone of my family. I've always stood for them, um, for a very long time. In the sense that you name it, I am there. I mean, if we give something to Mythili, she will do it. So she was like, she's saying, my right hand is going. So everybody said, your right hand is leaving you, at the time of my marriage. And even when we went to US, like she was like, okay, you're going very, very far away from me. And it was so tough. And such a nice thing about my mother is, at very late age, at 75 later, she said, now I'm learning from you how to say no. So she's saying many situations we were as a family because she never said no. So I told her, no, Mama, you have to say no. You're too old now. Now at least you say no to
Yes,
people and
yes.
take a stand. So she's so open. She's saying, yes, you are right. So for everything, it was I would get a call, whatever is required to be done. Of course, my sister also, my brother, everyone, but it was mostly me who would be there for them or support them or talk to them. My mother fell very sick when I was in 8th standard, very sick. And she had to be moved to India, and we had schools. I was in 8th, maybe. My sister was in 12th. My brother was in 10th. My dad had to go to work. It was so tough. So we all stood, we all worked together. And then one day we used to order food from outside. And one day he gave egg, and that's it. I got so upset. I said, we are vegetarians. This is not
You can't
happening.
have it. Yeah.
I cannot have egg. I mean, so see how small you are. And then I said, no, I will cook.
Yeah, because if
And
you
so
stay outside and if it is in India or somewhere else, Dubai, in India,
Dubai,
right? Dubai, yeah. So because
Dubai,
here,
Dubai.
I could totally relate because, and here people feel that, okay, in case they have mixed up this egg and the normal food, they just
It's okay.
normally remove egg. And I was like, now it's veg, please have it. I was like, how is it veg now, please? So they don't
Yeah, no,
understand these things. Very
like I
okay
said,
with them.
I'm okay. I'm okay with your perception. That's what you feel. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I started cooking from then. So literally, I cook. I cook very well, and I enjoy my cooking. So a lot of challenges which were totally unexpected, family challenges. I wanted to do PhD. I got into IIT, but then uh, I was told that PhD is not for women. You can't do it. It's very tough. Uh, just finished my MBA. Just, no, 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 you should do job. No, 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 you should get married. It was such a confusing space. And I got scared, you know. Uh, and I said, oh, okay, then I can't do PhD. Maybe, it's not my cup of tea and I should just work somewhere. So many decisions, so many instances that went wrong, decisions that we should have stood. But I felt most of the decisions we took because of fear.
Right.
Yeah. So over the years, that has changed, and so much confidence I have today, that I take a very calculated decision, and if it goes wrong, I say I'm willing to face it. It's okay. At least it's my decision. I don't regret, and I don't talk about the past a lot. So like, for example, that IIT PhD would have made a lot of difference to my career. So maybe I could have replied to that North American guy who said that, your PhD is from India, so at least it was from IIT. Maybe he would have valued it more. Maybe another door would have opened for me, who knows.
Right.
So many paths that were not taken because of fear, because I was not sure of myself, because people made me feel unsure. So I realized that it's that you are so strong if you are right, just keep at it. Don't
Right. You
look
take your own
for
stand, yeah,
comfort.
and stand for
Yeah, take
yourself.
your own stand and don't look for confirmations because you're not going to get it.
Right.
You are not going to get that confirmation. I remember recently also when we were in Ibra, I was telling you about how tough our life was. So I really moved hell and heaven to try to come to Muscat. Literally hell and heaven, so that I can come here, so that we don't have to do up and down, and my son will get a proper tennis academy. And so anybody who I would meet, maybe out of desperation, I would ask, okay, is there a job? And I wanted to get a transfer, because getting another job, there are some legal issues here. So it's only a transfer is possible. And I met so many people who tell me, oh, you're teaching management. Exactly the same expression. You're teaching management. No, 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 no. Accounting, if you're teaching,
That
then
makes some
you
sense.
will get.
Finance, if you're teaching,
Yeah,
that
that
makes some
makes some
sense.
sense, no? Why are you
IT,
teaching
otherwise
management?
IT. That's very
Yeah,
true. That's very true.
anybody can teach management. I
Anybody.
would guess so. And I'd say, okay, fine, thank you. And finally, I got a job. I didn't get a transfer, but I got another job on management only, So I feel in life we are living, people are living in such a ridiculous perception that one thing is greater than the other still today.
Right.
It's like a company thinks that finance is important, but HR is not. So they're making the biggest blunder of their life.
Of
HR
course.
is so
It's very,
important.
very important. Yeah.
Yeah, see, you carry that conformity bias and superiority with you, whether it is about a profession, whether it is about an idea. So I faced that a lot. And initially I thought, okay, maybe it is that, should I change also? When you hear 20 people say that, so you think, oh my God, now do I have to start? Because it's not rocket science. I can teach portfolio analysis and
You want to convey to the audience from your side. So please go ahead.
yeah, there is one thing I would like to add, conclude with maybe. And I want everybody who is listening to test it out, means test it out for a past incident that has happened and see if it is right or wrong. We have this small saying that I have stuck on our bathroom door. Okay, so that every day we get up in the morning and we go to the bathroom, I want everybody
Yeah.
to see it. It is just give me a second. The future is not a far off point. It comes in daily doses. It must be noticed and observed.
That's a
So
very
when we
important
talk
line.
about your destiny, or when we talk about that, uh, it's not, it does nothing happen suddenly, for example, in another 3-4 months you will see me posting a lot about a book launch and a lot of stuff, because I'm just going to finish my second book, which is Mindful Workplace. So to everybody, wow, she just did a book launch, she's doing another book launch. So I've been working since 2 years every day, and I have two
Very good.
chapters left, and it took me more than 7 months to finalize a publisher. How many book proposals I submitted, only I know. How many times I have written to editors and they say, I am sorry, it's a good idea, but we're not interested. How heartbreaking that is.
Yeah.
And you just say, okay, one more try. Let's give it one more try. So my second book, just now, 2 weeks ago, a publisher has accepted it, and I've not yet signed on the dotted line, but I'm waiting. So the future is not at all a far off point. This happens when we see broken relationships, when we see something going wrong. We think, oh, it happened all of a sudden. I didn't expect it. You are not seeing it happening. It
Yeah.
is
It's a,
happening every day. Whether it is a political crisis or whether it is anything happening in the world, do you think suddenly it has happened now? No.
everything.
The,
Yeah.
the,
Yes.
the
We have to connect the
issues are
dots.
stemming since the last 14 years between these countries. It did not happen today. Whatever you see in the world today is not today. So before you say kismat, and before you just see, agree, kismat, destiny is there, before you put the blame
That
on
tag
something,
on the
the future is happening. Yeah, so you're going to have a challenge or something happened. There is a reason. You just be aware. Maybe you're not willing to accept it, that it's going to happen. So the more aware you are, the more prepared you are.
right. Okay, that's a very nice statement, I would say. Nice guidance to people who are listening to the podcast. And I would say that, okay, it's an interesting podcast today. I actually wanted to continue further because a very like-minded talk is very rare to find people of the same mind and the kind of experiences you already had in the past. So we would request and we would also expect you in the future to be on the podcast because we have much more to talk about life, about the same profession, about how things are going on. So yeah, but thank you so much for finding out time from your busy schedule and then being on the show. I'm sure people are going to like it, and many of them are going to relate with what you're talking about. It's going to be a learning for some. Then maybe somebody would also try to adapt your lifestyle, the way you're actually balancing things, which is very difficult in nowadays. Even of course me, I'll try to balance my work-life balance and then also my personal life because we are really stuck. So yeah, it's a great learning, and then it's nice to talk to you. Thank you so much for finding your time, and it was good again. I would say to connect, to have a chance, to have a platform to discuss all this, what is happening around us in today's world.
Like I say, thank you for the opportunity, Dr. Aarti.
Most welcome.
It is wonderful to be on your show. It is wonderful that you are interested to listen to my story and my voice. I am honored. Thank you